First of all, thanks to Elastic for organizing the meetup.
Thanks to you
Yeah.
for hosting us.
Yes. And so, first of all, very sorry we are running 15 minutes late, and I hope you are, first of all, thanks to all you are giving your time for this meetup. So, we have two talks today. First, from my side, on which I'm going to talk on an update, majorly writes in Elasticsearch, how writes exactly takes place. Basically, mostly updates query. And the second talk will be the by Ravindra from Elastic. He is going to talk on security analytics. So I'm starting with my first talk. Okay. Uh, I'm starting my talk with the first question. How many of you use Elasticsearch or you have been using Elasticsearch? Any idea? Okay. So guys, just giving the basic overview. Elasticsearch is a search engine technology. It's basically mostly used case for search, as you see, the Uber example. The depth search they are using, the live tracking they are doing with the help of the Elasticsearch. So my next question is anyone who has a write experience on Elasticsearch. Write means writing huge data with update query, not inserts. Okay, so this was my same reaction when I was started, and I haven't found the cases, the use cases related to the updates. The article, the blogs which I found on the internet, it was totally related to the inserts only. So right now we have a system, Pepipost have a system where we have a scale up to that level. We are receiving huge amount of the update queries, and it's a stable now. So I would like to share the whole journey, how we have implemented, which challenges we have occur, and how we have tackled with them. So let's start with that. So these are the current. This is the current stats. Today's stats. We daily receiving the 200 million update requests right now on our Elasticsearch cluster. 200 million, which is a consist of the three types of the updates. Basically, the 60 million is the partial updates. The partial update, which means if we can say in SQL language, update this table where name is equal to Ashish. This is the basic update query, which we getting approximately 60 million. The another is a 100 million update with a script condition. So anyone aware about the script condition, how Elasticsearch updates with scripts? So let me give you the one example. Suppose there is a one record document is available with the field name and value is Ashish, and I want to update with the name with suppose Ravi. So I can give a script condition like if existing name is equal to Ashish, then only update with Ravi. Otherwise, update with Akshay. So this whole condition I can pass with the query, and Elasticsearch will handle it itself. It will check going to that particular doc whether the particular condition is satisfying or not. So, but basically, this type of the queries becomes costly if you using very frequently or very big in huge number of amount. So, but we have tackled this too. We are using 100, we are getting 100 million updates with the script conditions. After that, we have a 40 million upsert. Upsert basically, it's like other database. If value is there, it will be update. If value is not, it will be insert. Right. So you might be think why we every technology has their use case. Okay. Like same way Elasticsearch has their use case, like for search, definitely for insertion also. Insertion is a very fast in comparatively with the updates. So why we are not using the Elasticsearch for insert use as an insert use case? So when we migrated from the MySQL to Elasticsearch, our all reporting UI offline reports, everything reports was calculating basis on the last updated event. Not it was not like a transaction. It was the latest updated value, so that we don't have so much time to change all reporting queries and all with the transactional wise. So we have taken a decision to get into the updates, evaluate Elasticsearch for the basically updates query. So we started with so I'm starting my journey explanation here. So first step, we have evaluated the Elasticsearch. We having a few more databases in lined up, but those not fit in our requirement. We did the POC on a read and write. Read basically with the search queries. Search query is consist of the equal to in query, like lots of more aggregations, which is very Elasticsearch, which is in good, very good aggregation provides. And when we started with a single cluster. The configuration was 64 GB RAM, 2 TB disk, and 30 GB heap memory we have assigned. After that, we started injection, doing some benchmark. We started generating some dummy data, and we keep pushing in Elasticsearch. And we got our first bottleneck problem here. Okay, so this is a very basic question whenever you are going to set up any cluster, Elasticsearch cluster. Uh, First is what should be the shard number per index and how many indexes we should create. This is both of the problem are dependent on each other basically. There is some calculation is already available by Elastic has given few number. I'm going to talk on this. But remember, if you are not doing well set up these two things, you gonna your cost gonna increase definitely, or it might be some hardware hardware costly. So the solution was what should be the shards number per index. Okay, so the simple basic rule is evaluate your data size. As per our MySQL, per month we are having a 2 TB or 2 TB plus of data size we have. So tip one is giving by Elastic Block. I have seen that your shard size should be between 20 to 40 GB. So this is not a hard-coded number. This is the number which found its work in lots of cases. It's not a hard-coded number. It might be go ups and downs, but this is a recommended number you can say. Tip, yeah.
Any basis on which the number is decided?
So that's what I'm saying. It's not any specific hardware you like. This is not like you need a 64 GB of RAM and this number is work on that particular hardware. This is a number which we found in the most of the cases to be work. Like I have given the reference below. You can go with this, and their Elastic has suggested that. So Elastic has gone through the various of the use cases, and they then decided these numbers. So you can check with that log. Okay. The good rule of thumb, that is the one shard. I mean, how many shard contains per node? Like if I have assigned 10 GB of heap, so my one heap is equal to 20 shards. This is a thumb rule. So if I have a node and I have assigned the 10 GB of heap, which means 10 into 20 is equal to 200. So that particular node can scale up to 200 nodes only, not more than that. So these are the basic rules you have to make. You have to keep in mind whenever you are creating your indexes or taking these decisions, either shards or indexes. So similarly, we have defined our node we have assigned a 30 GB of it, and you can say 30 into 20 is equal to 600, which means our one node can contain up to 600 shards only. Okay, you can definitely give more than that, but as per the recommended size, it won't work. It might be a not optimized. Another, how many indexes we should create. So this is not a hard coded. Again, this is not a, this is our for our use cases. In that we have optimized. Uh, First of all, we have shortlisted top 20 clients. Top 20 clients we had. They have a more data size, and we created dedicated top 20 indexes for them. And for the rest of the client, we have created 10 index. So total we have a 30 indexes of a cluster. So if and we have defined a five, the shard number is a five. So if we do the math, 30 into five, it's totally 150 shards. The number of shards we have. So as per the previous math, you can scale up to 115 to 23,000 GB to 6,000 GB. We can scale per node. So these were the maths which we did at the time, and we got a good, good optimized way. This is a sample doc. This is how we are storing our data. So we are an email sending company. Pepipost is an email sending company, and every email log we are storing in Elasticsearch. Okay. So these are, you can say, from address, custom data, the tags by which email has been sent, subject, counts open, counts click. So every time when a user used to open the particular mail, we keep increasing that particular count open, count clicks, how many times it has been opened. And these are that metadata, user agent, IP, time, etc. So these are the just, I'm giving the overview of the document. There is a lots of the more fields, but I cannot show. So I have taken the only few the fields. Okay. So we started the injection again. At that time, we started with the benchmark again, and started the POC on an injection. We generated some random data and started injection. So again, we got the another challenge. The storage size was increasing. Storage size was drastically increasing, and another observation that we cannot perform the aggregation query. We getting this error whenever we try to perform the term aggregation and that. So there is a the solution was you have to always define a mapping whenever you are creating an index. So Elasticsearch, whenever you are trying to insert any value, Elasticsearch first check if the index is already there. If not, then it will be automatically created like another SQL database works like MongoDB and all. The indexes automatically get created, and each fields, document fields get automatically data type. They assigned automatically data type like a string, integer, anything. So what happened in that case? Suppose there is a string name. My name is Ashish. Value is my name is Ashish. So Elasticsearch is taken that as a string as a text data type. If you are aware, there is two types of string in Elasticsearch is available. One is text, one is keyword. So on the text, we can perform a full text search. On a keyword, we can it is for basically on sorting or performing the aggregation query. So Elasticsearch accepted that particular string as a text value on which we cannot perform the aggregation. With the text value, it assigned the standard analyzer, which produced a lots of terms. So that unused term, because we are not going to query on that. So that unused term was created, and the storage size was started increasing. So the first thumb rule, you have to always define the mapping. Even whenever you using Logstash or Filebit, they have their own template by which before they inserting the data, they creating a particular index. Change the compression type. The by default compression type when Elasticsearch is creating an index, it's a LZ4. So just convert it into test compression. It's using a deflect, and it give you a better compression rate. Stop indexing those fields. Okay, so suppose I have a 10 fields, and on which I know these 5 fields are these are the 5 fields on which I'm not going to perform any kind of the query. So just stop indexing those. It will still visible, but you cannot perform any kind of the query. That's okay, because you don't have to perform any query. Okay, so just disable that particular field for the indexing. Okay. This is the existing architecture before the old one, MySQL. So these are the few servers: delivery server, injection servers, and generation, from where we're getting the lots of the events. So suppose you have sent an email, it injected on an injected server, then generate the emails, and it passes to the delivery servers. So whenever you are opening the email, opening the clicks, it's coming on a link like server. So these all are events in continuously coming, and it's going to getting queue in a Redis queue. As you can see, delivery, there is a separate queue for separate servers. There is a R1 process, events aggregator service, which keep popping from that particular queues, and it's pushing to the MySQL events queue again in the specific format. Okay. Here there is a R service, MySQL push service, which keep popping from the MySQL queue, and it's inserting in the MySQL. These was the old pipeline. which is still existing, but it's using for a different purpose. But these are the flow which we are using for a reporting purpose, basically log purpose. After that, we have implemented the Elasticsearch on production. These are our production flow. So this is how we introduce the Elasticsearch. Elasticsearch event, we introduce a one more queue, Elasticsearch events queue. Now, event segregator is pushing the same event into two different queues. Okay, so two different queues. Here we have write our own Elasticsearch push service. Here we have not used any data pipeline already like logstash and everything. We have because we need some different format, and there is some operation we have to do, which was easy. So here we have written our own push services, Elasticsearch services, and they are keep popping from this Redis, and they are now put on the Elasticsearch. So here we have running approximately 200 processes with the 5,000 on the batch, and all queries is going as an update query. There is none of the single insert queries going on. So there is actually reason for update query because like because every event when we were in MySQL, so suppose you have sent one email, so first event is coming as a deliver. So again, that particular recipient has to open that particular event. Second event will become open. So this latest event will be override by old one. So always there will be a latest event, and our reporting was working on this value only, so that we have to convert it into updates only. We can't go in the insert. Yeah.
Like, can you switch to previous?
Yeah.
Why this remote Redis? Like you have used the Redis queue, not other queuing service. Like any specific.
Like you are saying, RabbitMQ. And
Yes.
So because we did a benchmark on that, it's basically queuing system. I know it's not for exactly queuing system. RabbitMQ is a better, but this is the older structure we already have, and we don't have to impact to those because these are the legacy application which was running from the past times, long time. So we cannot touch those if they are working flow. So we only use the Redis again, which is replicated in the different queues. We did some benchmark, some time ago. So at that time, we found the Redis was good fit for our use case. So that we have implemented the Redis. Our total platform is totally on a Redis based, but we recently started using RabbitMQ for a webhook purpose, I guess.
Like when you are implementing a new queue, like maybe you could start using that Ravindra queue when you are implementing a new architecture. So you could like divide the load.
Yeah, right. So for webhook, we have recently released a webhook feature. For that, we build it from the scratch, and we take a call to use the RabbitMQ on that. So currently, webhook are on RabbitMQ, and we are slowly migrating on that. But Redis is still fit for some of the use case. Every queuing system has their use case, right? So as per that, it's going good. So. Okay, so we went we went on a production with that particular structure flow with the Elasticsearch, and these are the few queries which was going on. This is a simple update. These two are the script conditions. These are the few examples I have given, and we experienced that whenever the peak is coming on our server, majorly like when Ola and Myntra is doing a campaign on our platform, they at that time the update was become too slow. The the event rate was 5 to 70 per second, but we found that it was getting too slow. And if you see this architecture, we get there is a lots of queue started building here. So there was another worry how we can solve this. So these are the few steps we perform, and we got good good performance. So the first thing is in case of the updates, replace underscore ID with your primary key, where TRID was our primary key. Okay, so we simply replace with this. this works because Elasticsearch auto generates the underscore ID. Okay, the auto generation is also a good in a performance, but in case of the insertion only. So what happened in case of insertion, when you insert and Elasticsearch auto generate the underscore ID, it has it don't have to look into database whether this particular ID is present or not. But in case of the update, whenever it has to be look into that particular database. This ID is already exist, or I should have to create or something like this. So simply we have replace this ID. The another is cache the script. So the script condition which we were using these script condition. As I can say, you can send with the update query also, but you can simply cache this script on the Elasticsearch cluster. Against it, it will return a particular ID. And whenever you have to perform an update query, you just pass that particular ID with the specific parameter, and Elasticsearch will perform that particular condition which you have cached on a cluster. So as you can see, these are the few conditions. In this, we just have to pass like counts underscore clicks. There is some plus counter as I shown on the top. There is a we maintaining the counter. It's Elasticsearch automatically incrementing with the help of this script condition. So why it's got fast in caching? So whenever you passing the script condition with the update queries, first Elasticsearch accept it and then compile the whole syntax. Now what happens when I have a cache in a cluster, my compilation time is reduces because it will be compiled only one time. So it has been reduces and I just has to pass the parameter and it will be get update the query insert. Whatever. Okay, so there is another setting in the index refresh interval. Okay, in which so why Elasticsearch is near real time. So because whenever you insert the data, it goes into the particular shards. In the shards is also creates a small segment on the disk. So every disk, as soon as you have inserted, the Elasticsearch calls a refresh interval. There is a operation, and after that calling the refresh interval, your value is visible to the search, or it's available for the search. So at that time, whenever there is a peak, you just keep a refresh interval is equal to 0. There is a the disadvantage is that it's your data will not available for the search instantly, but your writes will become more fast. So at that time, I have opened the discussion on the forum. So you can go with this link. It's helped me a lot. Or there is a lots of solution given by the Elastic developer. So it helped me out. Okay. So now right now we done with the updates. We quickly update the data. We speed up in the insertion. So after that, one time is came where our disk got full and we have to delete the data. So there is a two option available for deleting the data. Delete, simple, delete API and delete by query. Delete by query is simple, it's like delete from this table where name is equal to Ashish, if we say in an SQL language. But this query is good for a small chunk of data. But when you are, performing on the very large data set, it's taking too much time, which was not good for us. So we have, we have taken some decision about the index creation, how to create index again. Always create your index in a time series manner. So time series currently we are creating the index month wise because we have to keep the data for the 3 months only. So whenever another month is coming, we used to delete the -4 month data. Okay, so this index series is totally based on the granularity of the index. It's totally depend on your use case. Like I have seen the use case where people can create weekly indexes, daily indexes. So it's totally upon your use case. You have to evaluate what is the exact granularity you have to define for the index creation. So the simple solution is whenever you have to delete some particular data, just delete the particular index. It is a quick, fast, and it's very fast, very efficient, and it's not taking much time. So likewise, we have created a month-wise indexes. So like January, February, March, and in April we used to delete the January's data, which it was too big for us.
Have you tried ILM?
ILM, no, actually I've gone through them, but I haven't got time.
You don't have to do manually.
Yeah.
You
So
don't have to write scripts.
correct. So right now we have a manual setup, and
Which version are you
right now we are using 6.2.2.
on?
Yeah, we are planning to upgrading. So till that time, what we achieved, we having a good injection rate, good search rate, efficient deletion of the data. Meanwhile, we also added a two node in a ES cluster. So we having total three nodes right now in our cluster with the equally with the and all data has been distributed. The very good thing is you don't need to worry about the sharding, routing, and everything because Elasticsearch that automatically does about the routing, shards, and everything. So after that, all was going perfect. Thus, one day we observed few things. Our one of the node was highly utilized. In terms of load, I guess fix was not okay, pretty clear. But the load average or the particular one node among three, it was more on the one node only. Memory was using is more comparatively to. So this is one weird use case we have find. So few things we have observed after that. The observation was the shard number. If you remember, we have defined the 5, which is not even. So what is the distribution of the shards? It's the first node 2, 2, 1. So one node contains a one shard only. Okay. So we this observe this thing, and we also observe that data distribution was not equal. There is a APIs available underscore shards. You can just hit it and you will get the shard distribution disk size. So it was not equally distributed. So we then from next month when we have created, we assigned a even number 6. Now our shard distribution was 2, 2, 2. Now all data was equal, and we also we have noticed our memory utilization, hardware utilization become equal across the all nodes. So just keep in mind whenever you are defining the shard number, make it even, not odd. Okay. So this is the current cluster configuration right now. We're having a 64 GB RAM, heap 30 GB, this 2 TB, this, and into 3 nodes. We have totally 3 nodes right now. The indexes is right 20 dedicated, as I explained, for top 20 clients, plus 10 for the rest of the client. This is our use case. You can define according to yours. Okay, and with the 3 months, so is equal to, there is a 90 indexes currently are present in our clusters. Okay, we have assigned a 6 shards per node. So there is a 540 shards with the replica one. So there is a one more tip. If there is a peak time, there is a heavy traffic, you can also off the replica, make it replica 0, so that your write can improve more. And after the peak finish, you can again enable that particular replica.
So you're running it on AWS or?
No, we have our own infra webhooks.
Physical or AWS?
Physical, yeah. So these are some Elasticsearch queries. The write queries, write is totally updates query, 200 million per day, as I said. The ingestion size daily is 80 GB per day, and the read query is 1 million per day. The read queries consist of all kind of the aggregation, percentile aggregation, term aggregation, lots of nested aggregation, lots of reporting we are providing with the help of this. So it's very cool, Elasticsearch is providing in the aggregation. It's good. Okay, so in meanwhile, in last, I want to just explain. Whenever you are getting started with your, setting up the cluster, like creating an index or creating a shards, just define your query. What type of the query your client is going to fire on that, what type of the query your application is going to hit on that, like a live query, in query, and accordingly you define your settings for the indexes. So for example, there is a case where we have to implement the like query. Okay, so like might be this kind of the like text wildcard. So for at that time that particular field has a keyword, keyword data type. For that we can use the wildcard regex, but that was again too slow. So we have evaluated this, and we did the some test something. We did the some benchmark. So first, we use the n-gram tokenizer. This is for example. We use the n-gram tokenizer n-gram tokenizer, for implementing the like, and we have giving the mean gram 1, max gram 14, which means uh, I inserted this value, and if you see the below terms was produced by Elasticsearch, which was FO. So suppose my user came and they provided this much information for like foo@BA, then it will quickly search and it will give the result. Okay, but in this, I inserted 4 value, foo@bar.com. So the my storage size was keep increasing, 7, 9 KB, then 12.9 KB, and immediately when I inserted completely different email address, it suddenly raised up to 18 KB. Means it's just on a small scale. Just I'm giving it. After that, I tried with the midgram 3 and maxgram 10. So Elasticsearch will not produce so much term as it produces here. So here it was restricted with the terms, and at that time I know my client will have to give at least 3 letters to perform a like query, and likewise we have assigned the mean gram 3 and max gram 10. So basically, and at that time we again checked the storage size. It was a 4 KB, 8 KB, 11 KB, and 15 KB. So here is it's taken 18 KB. So there is a storage difference on small scale we have observed, and also on a large scale. So this is how sometimes wrong settings can cost you so much. So just keep in mind whenever you are creating an index, just define your queries first. What type of search or insert is coming. So I guess that's for from my side. So thanks for questions. तो एकदम आंसर गया
So Ashish, all these slides were pretty amazing, but we face search issue that let's suppose we have 3 nodes, and whenever the search queries are heavy on our nodes, only one node is occupied, and rest 2 nodes we can't see that count of search.
Yeah, that is because of the shard. We don't have that even number of the shards. We have defined the odd number 5. So our distributor was 2, 2, 1.
Yeah.
As I said.
Once we add one more, then this will be solved.
We have already added. Yes. Yes.
Ashish, if you look at it, it was like migration from MySQL to Elasticsearch.
Right.
Or Elasticsearch did the JSON data the top. Why you? I mean, I just
Yeah.
might look foolish on that part, but why you never gone for Postgres, which allows you to similar functionality?
Okay, so
that would have been a database RDK to RDK rather than this is completely different paradigm.
So actually, we at that time we also having the ClickHouse and the other parts also. So what we defined, what we searching for, we have to give the more on search side also. Like we need a aggregation, like percentile aggregation, term aggregation, loss. There is a possibilities on Postgres also. I have not gone through that, but the Elasticsearch is fit for all those our use cases. Whereas we went for ClickHouse and other database also, there is something a scalability problem we found. So we not choose those, and comparatively Elasticsearch is horizontally scalable. It's very easy to scale up the node and It will distribute the data, performance, everything. So it's fit for our use case.
And another question which I would like to see that you are using the Redis, right?
Yeah.
What I could see that from architecture, Redis was not considered, okay, for the migration. But the end side, like MySQL to the Elasticsearch was considered.
Yeah.
How do you
So
have on that part? Because even Redis could be a bottleneck for that matter.
okay, right. So you said, can you just again rephrase your?
See, in this architecture, Redis has been using as a message queue. Now, Redis is in the memory database.
Right.
It's very useful such a real language. What decision was taken that what was arrived that MySQL we should go to MySQL from MySQL to Elasticsearch. Why Redis was not considered that rather than using Redis, people have gone to Rabbit or Kafka for that matter.
Yeah. So this was till here. It was our old architecture.
Okay.
We don't have to disturb with those because client was there and still reporting was running from this MySQL only. So we have up the on the production this was architecture, but we have not opened for the client till that. We just introduce a new queue and started duplication, and so it was easy for migration for us.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
understand. And I handled production from very honest.
Yeah.
जो चल रहा है
जो चल रहा है it's a
ये भी जो आर्किटेक्चर इसने बताया ना इसमें बीच में रेपिटेटिव भी है
That's for Wipro.
हाँ उसने अगर कोई डाल दिया तो आपको वो भी concept clear हो जाएगा. So basically we have used repeatability also, and Redis yes combined in one set, but it is actually config Redis is different, tweak Redis is different, and whatever this event aggregator part Redis is different. So it is scaling much more better than RabbitMQ.
then that fixes.
So I just given the overview because we have very vast architecture, so I cannot so इसके लिए मैंने just use
Okay. Well, okay, मुझे लगा एक
Yeah.
ही Redis आपने
Right,
use
right.
किया है in a cluster और Redis तो मतलब आप वो Redis खुद नहीं
yes
कर पाएगा.
हाँ correct.
Shut it down करना
Shut it down करना. Or actually production is something which even I believe that if it's working pretty fine,
Right. We
please
cannot
don't
touch.
touch.
Yeah.
Don't touch.
Yes.
On the same note, this was about migrating from MySQL to Elasticsearch. Right? So you have also put in that Elasticsearch events. So now you are writing to both MySQL and
So right now for a reporting purpose, the logs is right now not writing on the MySQL.
Okay.
There is some other events is going on, configuration and something on a MySQL. But for especially logging purpose, we have stop pushing on MySQL. Right now, it's going in Elasticsearch only. So just I have shown how we migrated. But suppose there is a cases where guys are not using a Redis queue or anything this kind of architecture. At that time, you can go through some data pipelines for a solution. Also, which will heavy lifting the data from MySQL and it will push in Elasticsearch.
Okay. So based on the EPS, I would say is there any difference you see in the time which MySQL takes to insert or update a query and Elasticsearch?
Yeah, of course. Because MySQL in MySQL we having a MySM DB engine, and sometimes that because of the table locking, it's getting a cascading effect. We're getting a queue building and everything. So and this kind of the problem we have definitely solved with the Elasticsearch, and it's not it's directly coming and getting in the push, and it's ready for search. This is what exact Elasticsearch says. It's a near real-time search available for search. So definitely we got the good performance in the right search. Definitely, for example, there is a summary report which we are generating. That we generating in once a day. With the help of the Elasticsearch, we are now generating in every 2 hours. So this is how we boost up the performance.
Kibana for any reporting or?
Kibana for internal purpose. For reporting on app, we just making in the way.
We have lost
Yeah, somewhere we are reading a log stash and file. But the majorly, this was which I explained.
Another question, when you say Elasticsearch MMQs,
Hmm.
okay, is it, when you develop this architecture, have you seen any use cases scenario where things have been settled by MySQL much faster than Elasticsearch? Did you really something come up like that? Yeah, I'm just,
Yeah.
possibilities there.
So while segregating this architecture, the event segregator service, while segregating the part, the update was much faster on MySQL rather than Elasticsearch. But I think Ashish has handled very much. Means you can say
So-
he has handled very much well in that particular.
At day one, we definitely it was too slow. So the tricks, the steps which I told you by by implementing those, we're getting good performance with comparatively MySQL.
And anyway, your problem statement was like, being a network email solutions. So
Mhm.
reading is the thing people always look at. Very much.
Yeah, reading is
That is the problem statement we should be going for that. When I, as a client, I've used the product, so I'm just saying
Right.
something I dealt with.
correct.
I see it that I do not know the new architecture, but the old one, like reading emails, were very difficult and fetching them from the archive was it used to take quite a lot of time.
Yes. So you're talking about I guess logs, reportings.
Logs.
Yes,
Logs,
it was because of the MySQL, the table architecture. We can improvise that particular MySQL, but we उसमें गए नहीं हम लोग. So वो table से read करना archive data like it was totally very difficult, Or in the Elasticsearch, it has provided, scroll APIs and everything, which making your, downloading the bulk data is very efficient, very fast. So, अगर आप अभी वाला version लिखोगे, जो we are Pepipost in the Pepipost, so we are giving, you can extract the bunch of the data in minutes like this.
And which language you written Elastic this event queues and Java?
Yeah, event queues was sorry, this service we have written in PHP 7. Yes, where 200 parallel processes going on, which keep popping from Redis and making an object query with the batch of 5,000.
How much time that takes to update that? I mean, the batch of 5,000?
It's actually it's a real time going on the every query. So the time I have not, I'm not sure, not measured right now.
Maybe
But
second on that.
Okay, so that's the job.
So I would like to call Mr. Ravindra, please come and let's talk on a security.
Thanks, Ashish.
Okay. Okay. before we begin, I think I may be late. So if the introductions are done, maybe I'll request a small introduction from everyone. So it's a small crowd, it won't take much time maybe from here.
Hi everyone, so I'm Divya, co-founder of Pepipost. So it's a great pleasure to host Elastic Meetup today.
Hello everyone, I am Kaushik Parik and I work at Cyber as a threat researcher and my areas of interests are like mainly security and like security orchestrations. And
Hi everyone, my name is Ashish. I work with startup. I'm a full-stack software engineer. I'm here to explore Elasticsearch.
Hi everyone, Abdul here, working with ASM and it is
Hi, my name is Pran. Working as a consultant, also working in fintech, banking, financial solutions, also work on marine agency, retail banking, and retail side of businesses. So, I'm a solution.
Hi, Sachin here. I'm working as a lead consultant with Infosys and just trying to learn the basically Elasticsearch. So quickly try to learn this. It's totally new for me.
Okay.
Sure.
Hi, myself Akshay. I'm working with Pepipost and software engineer and exploring Elastic. I'm Elastic.
Ashish.
Hi, my name is Nilesh. Actually, I'm not working anywhere. I'm doing my master's right now, and I actively work in communities across Mumbai and Pune, and in association with like all the tech communities here, like Google, Microsoft. And
Hey everyone, this is Aditya from Mumbai Elastic. I'm working as a data scientist. Currently, we are exploring Elastic and we are using for one use case for
From which company?
More Infinity is a NetTech company, NetTech startup. Hi everyone, I'm Mishra from I'm second year computer science at Harvard College. I currently use MySQL language. I just wanted to learn about Elastic. Hi everyone, Prabhas here. I'm also currently working as an intern in Board Infinity and we are also exploring Elasticsearch for our use cases.
Hello everyone, I'm Marcia. I'm a student at Evangelist. Share the explore.
So, hello everyone, my name is Vikram and I work as a developer evangelist and community engineer for Pepipost. So, the area of interest is my building communities and I prefer developing in Golang, Perl and exploring few new databases.
Sure. There are quite a few new faces, quite a few people who are not explored Elastic Start. So before I jump to the presentation, first introduction. I'm Ravi. I am a solutions architect with Elastic. Elastic is the company behind the whole Elastic Stack, Search, Logs, Kibana, Beats, and quite a few other things as well. And I work as a solutions architect with Elastic. I work with the sales team and help different customers in India on their Elasticsearch journey. So really make us, in fact, our CEO is the one who actually wrote Elasticsearch back in 2009. He wanted to solve a very peculiar problem. I don't know, you might have heard that story. I've spoken about it in my previous meetups as well. But his wife is a chef and she wanted an app for searching different recipes, and he found that there's no great technology to create that search engine kind of functionality. So he went on and wrote the search engine that he wanted to use in the app. He never completed the app. That's another story. But yeah, Elasticsearch became very, very popular. Now, it was started off as a search engine. Now it's a number one search engine. If you Google number one search engine, not for Google or web pages, but anything apart from web pages, it's Elasticsearch. And for sure, you're using that search engine in your day-to-day life. If you open an app, see a search bar, very high chances it's powered by Elasticsearch. From Uber to Flipkart to Swiggy to Zomato, Tinder, some youngsters here, Shadi.com who are looking for profiles, all powered by Elasticsearch. Yeah, it's a number one search engine, but obviously to make it powerful, the way it was written It's very powerful on other fronts as well. It's very highly scalable. The name Elastic, as the name says, is very highly scalable. It's very fast, and you get the relevant results as well. So because of these properties, a lot of developers started using Elasticsearch for other use cases as well. As a data store, it's a full-fledged data store, NoSQL data store, very highly scalable. We have customers running thousands of nodes in production. So it's huge, very heavily scalable. We have even customers looking at replacing their Hadoop ecosystems. They have few use cases, they have already replaced Hadoop ecosystems with Elasticsearch as well. The main differentiating factor being it's more real-time rather than batch big data store. So yeah, we have customers doing that as well. Plus, people started exploring it for other use cases, business analytics, reporting, log analytics, because back in the day, few youngsters who have not actually worked on production systems, if you had to debug something, you had to log into multiple servers where the application is running, try to figure out what's there in the logs, put it into servers, do tail, grep on logs. It was not that easy. So people started pushing all the log files into Elasticsearch, then it became a Google search for your logs. So log analytics picked up a lot. We introduced monitoring as well. A lot of new age monitoring tools are actually built on Elastic Stack, likes of SolarWinds, CA Suite. Quite a few are built actually on Elastic Stack, and we introduced a full-fledged monitoring solution as well. So you can, if you want to monitor your servers, your hardware, your databases, your network devices, it's again a pretty powerful solution for monitoring as well. And so, coming out of the topic for today, if you can do log analytics, if you can do a lot of monitoring, it became a pretty powerful for security analytics as well. Now, I see only one person who has a security background, but a lot of people working as a developer or getting into DevOps background, very slowly we have seen a trend that from DevOps there would be a transition to DevSecOps, because the way you're developing your app, you're more responsible for securing it as well. If you're not aware what threats can happen to your servers, your applications, you're not building secure apps. So instead of someone actually finding issues in your app, threats in your app, it's better that you understand what threats can do to your application, to your servers, to your product itself. So we're slowly moving towards the DevSecOps space, and frankly, we are there. We are there in that space as well. But I'll stick to the security analytics part. What you can do, I would suggest if you're using any server, just install a few of the beats there, and you can actually see what kind of attacks are actually happening, what kind of people are trying to connect. Anyone uses public cloud services, GCP, AWS, yeah. Install packet beat, install audit beat on that. I'll show you some dashboards as well. You'll see the attacks happening. If you're not hardened it, you cannot put it up behind a firewall. That's a lot of attacks happening. I have my colleagues getting their EC2 instances being hacked, and then people demanding ransomware for those kind of for releasing the server. So I would say just give it a try. But yeah, sticking to it, why Elastic Stack became popular for security analytics? It's the #1 threat hunting platform right now. So if you have security team, chances are they are already using it for security analytics. They're using tools built on top of Elastic Stack for security analytics, but yeah, you can use the standalone stack as well for security analytics. It's very fast. So if a threat happens, it shouldn't happen that 1 week back there's someone actually copied data from one of my servers to their own server. It was sensitive data. There's no point something happened 1 week back, because threats are in real time and you need to figure them out in real time and act upon them in real time as well. So the speed, scale, relevance is the same factor behind why Elastic Stack is popular for security analytics. I'll quickly cover what all solutions we offer in this sprint, because instead of you building your own solution, we are adding more and more tools with every release, so that it makes life easier for everyone. Yeah, the same thing, speed, scale, relevance. The data data specific to security is huge. Your access logs, server logs, application audit logs, your network logs, firewall logs, load balancer logs, it's huge. So you need a very highly scalable solution. You have legacy SIEM solutions already in market, CMS, security information event management solutions already in market. They are very good at detecting threats, but not scale. Very large organizations usually have only few sets of logs they send it to their security solutions. It's not scalable. That's where Elasticstack came in. And you look at any new age security analytics tool, they either embed Elasticstack or they're using in parallel to Elasticstack, they build something else as well. So most important is scale and speed at scale. Even if you're ingesting terabytes of data per day, how do you perform real-time queries? How do you detect real-time threats? And finding relevant threats. Obviously, you don't need false positives. You don't want to stop genuine traffic to your product, to your service. You need relevant results as well. These are early adopters. It's a very small subset of companies from US Armed Forces to Navy to even NSA and other stuff, other secret agencies that we can't name, but they are very early adopters. But even in India, we have huge adoption on the security front. Nearly every major private bank in India uses Elasticstack for security analytics. Startups, Dream11 uses Elasticstack for security analytics as well. We have pretty good adoption. Quite a few startups in India have built their security products on top of Elasticstack as well. So pretty powerful on that front. This list keeps on increasing. What things you can do from inventory vulnerability management, figuring out what all servers are there, who all connected to your servers. These are basic things that you may not be doing it consciously, but the security team keeps on asking you these things. Give me the list of users who have authentication rights to your application. If you're not doing it, it's a problem. An ex-employee might be accessing some private data as well, which you don't want to do. So from inventory vulnerability management, getting telemetry data from your application, how your application is performing, to information or event detection, threats, antivirus. You might be having antivirus on your desktops as well, so I'll cover that as well. Detecting threats, behaviors, normal behaviors, even on the customer front. What is the normal behavior? Is someone else is spoofing that your customer to access certain kind of data, those kind of threats, behaviors, and finally hunt. Those are security analyst specific terms. I won't get into details, but hunting is basically finding what is causing, where is the root cause of the threat that has come in. Could be malware, could be attacks, and tracking it and then acting upon it, basically fixing those threats. So it's a complete threat hunting platform from detection to hunt, track, and act. Plus, we recently acquired a company. Its name is Endgame. If you Google Endgame, you'll only get Avengers Endgame. But yeah, if you Google Endgame endpoint security, it's a pretty powerful. I won't say very popular because it's a small company, started out 3 or 4 years back, but pretty powerful. All analysts gave it the top rating in endpoint protection and EDR, which is endpoint detection and response. So how many of you have laptops running McAfee, Symantec, those kind of software? Those are antivirus software. Those were very popular back in late 2000s or very early 2010s. For larger enterprises, those antivirus are not enough because there are a lot of private confidential data. Each desktop is a risk to an organization. Now, there's a next generation coming in. First, it was EPP, endpoint protection. Now it's EDR, endpoint detection and response. So basically, you open a phishing mail, someone spoofs you from your same mail ID as your CEO and sends out that send me the report for this particular customer, or send me this amount pretty, actually something happened very recently. A large organization was getting an email from the CEO. Their headquarters in UK transfer $1 million to this account, and they actually did those transfers. So from phishing emails to sending malware attachments, and then those attachments actually doing something on the laptops, trying to access something or corrupting the laptop, and then those kind of ransomware attacks as well. They're pretty common. You'll think, oh, it's via IT, it never happens, but it happens with everyone. Pretty common. It's very important to secure your endpoints as well, because those desktop laptops are connected to your network and have access to all the data that you have. So we acquired this in-game company, and we are in the process of integrating it. So collecting data. In fact, my laptop has in-game install as well. So collecting data, whatever I'm doing on my laptop gets collected, what emails I open, what sites I access, whether there are any attacks, any malwares present on the laptop, even acting upon them. So an analyst sitting in our headquarters can actually prevent an attack that is happening on my laptop as well directly. So that kind of software is provided by endpoint security company, which is in-game, and we have acquired, and we are process of integrating the same software in our suite. So it's not just detection, it's prevention, detection, and response to your threats. Now, if you look at it, this is what the whole stack can do, from endpoint security to your application performance monitoring to monitoring your entire infrastructure. All kind of data you can push to Elasticsearch. It's very, very highly scalable. That's a core differentiator. It can easily become the core machine data lake or machine data store for you. We have customers. Last week, one of our consultants was here for a customer. He was able to scale up to 1 million events per second. So it's pretty common. Even before that, they were running at 200K events per second. Now they scaled up to 1 million events per second. And it was just limited number of nodes. We are not looking at 1,000 farm for 1 million events. It's like 60, 70 nodes. And they have those kind of data requirements because the data is growing. Everyone has multiple devices. They are connecting to different services. Half the day you are on the phone browsing through services. TikTok has a 2,000 node server in the China data center. 2,000 node Elasticsearch server running, doing I don't know what all things they do with Elasticsearch. But yeah, you can push any kind of data. You can run any kind of analytics. Most importantly, why I mentioned DevSecOps, because if there is an attack, is it actually hampering the performance of our application? How do you correlate all those things? If you have a separate security analytics solution, a separate application performance monitoring solution, a separate network monitoring solution, and a separate infra monitoring solution, how do you correlate that? Any HDFC customers? HDFC Bank customers? Yeah. Last week, 3 days, internet banking was wrong. No one knew what was wrong. So they don't have that visibility because they have, say, 15, 20 different monitoring solutions. How do you correlate? I was talking to a large public sector bank. They said they launched a new mobile app. After the launch, 30% of the customers were not able to log in. 2 weeks, they were trying to. No, I have to talk to them because they are using, at least they have 4 or 5 Elasticsearch clusters running. I've been talking to them, but I tried calling them during that event. No one was picking up because obviously they were trying to firefight, and I didn't push for that. But yeah, for a public sector bank, they launched a new mobile app. Their HDFC mobile app was also a disaster, but not talking about them. A separate public sector bank, I was talking to the CIO. He said we launched a new app. 30% customers were not able to log in. When we checked with the mobile team, they said everything is fine at their end. Backend team, web server team, everything is fine with their end. Network team, everything is fine with their end. Infra team, all servers are running fine. What is the problem? For 2 weeks, they were not able to figure out what's the issue. Finally, after 2 weeks, they figured out one of the switches was dropping packets. Because of that, that switch was related to the mobile app, the APIs that were hosted, the backend APIs for the mobile app that were hosted, it was losing those packets. And after 2 weeks, they fixed that switch, they were able to log in. So what's the point? If you're launching a new application and you're not able to deliver, and it could happen for an existing application as well, right? You're hosting services for different customers, and suppose for 2 weeks they're not able to log in. For 3 days, you're not able to do transfer money from your own account. It's not a good service. I'll preferably start looking at some other customers, right? So that's a key differentiator. You can push any kind of data, wait, security events, could be a security hack which is causing some issues with your application, with your service, could be some rogue network device, or could be uh, some new application or a reporting service which is spiking up. Suddenly, he wrote a new batch script for fetching reports, and it started consuming 80% CPU during night, and it started affecting the customers. When you come back to office, you see everything is fine. What happened during 1 to 2? How do you correlate that some Ashish has actually written something and which runs from 1 to 2 is causing the problem, is bring your service now. So yeah, those kind of things, unless you start correlating those things, which process is running from 1 to 2, what is the network traffic that process is generating, and what is the utilization, disk I/O utilization on your database, be it MySQL or Elasticsearch, and what is your API response time at the same time, or you can even write actual rules to correlate those things. So all things are possible, and that's where the whole platform is heading to.
But Dr. Like if you say the network security point of view, if you say like the ArcSight ESM or like is in an SLE you can say Splunk or like various such solutions, I see like the data aggregation is like very much easier like from the what to say the deployer perspective. They are not like the architect or like they don't have to think much on that. But if I say on Elasticsearch, if I want to scale much, like you can say on the 1 million oh, sorry 1 million EPS, I have to actually make those make that architecture strong enough and resilient enough so that that 1 million EPS doesn't spike up or like doesn't have an impact on my thing. So
If you,
I don't know like
I actually saw you're talking about 1 million EPS.
Yeah.
I actually saw ArcSight's video, the marketing video,
right.
which is up to 200k events per second.
Sorry.
Which actually says up to 200k events per second.
Right.
The ArcSight itself says that if you want to do ingestion of huge amounts of logs, use
Right.
Elasticsearch.
Okay.
They're obviously partners.
Okay.
The reason people are moving away from Splunk and ArcSight
Right.
is the ingestion rates, you can't scale them up. Most of these technologies are vertically scalable. How much hardware will you fit in? But for Elasticsearch, it's just putting new nodes.
Right.
He showed that he added 2 nodes. You don't have to do anything major to add any number of nodes. We have customers who actually within 5 minutes can scale from 10 nodes to 100 nodes, because they have written those scripts. They have that provisioning scripts available where they can spin up new EC2 instances within few minutes.
Like on the same note, like also like outside ESM or even Splunk or like we can actually write queries which are like dedicated to security. But in like Elasticsearch, I see more of it as like database queries or like search type queries.
No, I'll actually try to demo a few of this because
Okay.
we came up with Kibana query language specifically for this. Plus, we're coming up, instead of the old Watcher, we're coming up with a new detection engine as well, where you don't have to write a query to write an alert.
Okay.
So we're coming up with a detection engine. It should be coming out somewhere in January, mid of January or end of January. We released 7.5, but 7.6 is coming.
Okay.
I know it's more for a developer right now. It's not, you can't just give it to an analyst right now. It's more a developer friendly tool. But we are going there. We're reaching there very soon. Even just for the same reason, we have worked in KQL, Kibana query language. We started type as you go. So even if you start saying H, it will automatically say, are you trying to search on host? If you select host, then it will give you the list of parameters for host, host.ip, host.name, whatever you want. And after that, which operator you want, it's automatically gives you a drop down for that. I'll try to demo that to you. And once you use that operator, it will give you the list of fields available in the data you're searching. So you don't even have to remember your host.name. So I'll give you a demo. I understand where you're coming from because that's a complaint that we get. It's not for an analyst, it's more for a developer. But we are reaching it. We're very soon reaching it.
So, just now you said that auto-complete was going on. So, Elasticsearch has released that particular thing or
in Kibana, yes, it's already released. I can show you the demo. The older version, in fact, not even the 7.5.
Actually, we are evaluating some few search, you can say, for our tutorial session. So we have recently done R&D on Algolia, and few more are there.
So we have, if you're looking at on-prem solution, we have app search. You can just go and download app search. It gives you a UI. You don't even have to think of which APIs to use for autocomplete or auto-suggest. App search gives you the features out of the box it contains. If you're comparing with Algolia, app search we have. Elasticsearch as a platform you can do it as well. But to make life easy, we have something
So
called
you
app
need to
search.
feed that JSON to.
Yes. So in app search, you can in fact define the schema on the UI itself. You don't even have to create a mapping or anything.
And then auto scaling part you have Elasticsearch auto scale to 10 to 100 nodes. So on what basis it scale? Do we need to give IPs or it's same like Kubernetes or?
We have a Kubernetes operator. We have other tools as well.
In Elasticsearch.
So that's a deployment method. So we have a Kubernetes operator available where you can actually do auto scaling. Now we are on 6.2. I'm not sure where those charts we are generated. What were you using for Elasticsearch charts? I mean utilization charts. Yeah.
We have own graph for years.
How are you monitoring Elasticsearch?
Right now we have a Prometheus.
Okay.
Prometheus.
Okay. So with 6.5 and above, you get all the monitoring as well.
Okay.
So you can actually create an alert saying that if the utilization on your nodes is above this, invoke this script.
Which triggers that alert? Kibana itself or?
It's Watcher.
It's a Watcher, but I guess it was paid, right?
Watcher is paid. Okay.
Actually, I also that.
But at least you should do an upgrade because
Yeah,
even on the performance front,
yes.
6.2 is like.
Right. But actually, we
don't even
lots of very frequently updates. Then actually said.
I mean, it's an advantage for some, yeah, for some people.
Yeah.
If you're looking at a cloud offering, we have one-click upgrades in the cloud. So if you're looking at SaaS offering kind of thing, then you don't have to do a scripted job for that. But yeah, we have a one-click upgrade. In fact, the demo I'll show you, I have not even upgraded that. It's on 7.4. And I know the pain. For us, it's what all new features came. Keeping up with that is also a pain. Yeah. Someone. Yes.
Elastic, Elastic AppSearch is same as SwiftType.
Yeah. SwiftType is again a company that we acquired. They had created specific products, solutions on top of Elasticsearch. We acquired that company and those products and all.
That is same.
So SwiftType was SaaS only. They only offered a service. Now we are launching all those things on-prem as well. So AppSearch is available on-prem as well as a SaaS offering. Site search, basically if it's a static website, if you want to give a search bar, could be a knowledge base as well. I'm not sure if you're looking for knowledge base.
Yeah, similar to knowledge.
So look at site search. It's very
Site
strict.
search.
Yes.
So is it a paid or?
Site search is a SaaS offering.
Oh.
If you want something on-prem, we have app search as well. On-prem app search is free to use. You won't get support for it, but it's free to use.
Community is there.
So a lot of large customers we have, even Netflix for their job site uses app search for searching when you search for a job on Netflix, it's actually app search. So yeah, that's the kind of ecosystem. These are the ways in which you can ingest. This is more into DevSecOps rather than the business analytics kind of use case that you was talking about. We have a pretty large set of use cases on that front as well. Once you have that data, we have out-of-the-box dashboards available. You can correlate different data sets, aggregate on top of those data sets, analyze it. You can have machine learning jobs trying to understand different data sets as well. eBay, for example, they do the entire infra monitoring using Elasticstack, and they are very heavy users of machine learning as well. Similarly, for security analytics use cases as well, we have quite a few large customers who ingest large amounts of data. BNP Paribas is a huge example. They have 1,000-watt cluster running. So yeah, you can do monitoring, security analytics, even reporting on these kind of data as well, because there's a lot of information in your logs as well. Any questions on this?
On the attack framework, you have some add-ons for that?
Migrate, the entire endpoint security product in-game was built on top of Mitre attack framework. In fact, if you go to Mitre attack, they are end-game is the number one solution they suggest, because we tick all the boxes on the Mitre attack framework.
So like this slide is like along with the endgame you are trying.
There is some case like we are tracking a click URL, and a few months ago we had something like DDoS, like that. So how this system?
So DDoS is, I mean, either you collect all the logs and someone in your team keeps on looking at it. You can define those alerts as well when number of hits are coming from this.
We have to.
Yes. Or machine learning can also figure out.
Yeah.
So machine learning, we have an out-of-the-box machine learning job. Machine learning job is zero code machine learning. We just have to enable those jobs. We're shipping around, with 7.5, we're shipping around 25 or 30 machine learning jobs out of the box. From DDoS to DNS exfiltration and few other jobs. Even a rogue process running on your on one of your servers you can detect. Could be a process, batch process as well, but it can detect those kind of things. So, yeah.
Yeah, one more question.
Yes.
So basically, as a input, you have shown as a Splunk event also to the Elasticsearch.
Yes.
So the Splunk is also doing the same job, right?
Splunk has limitations. It's a very powerful tool. I'll be very honest. One of the biggest competitors on this front, not on the search front, but on this front. They have pretty powerful product. Not saying that, but they have their limitations on scale and speed. They're very good if you're ingesting, if you're trying to analyze, say, 3 or 4 days or 5 days of data. If you start analyzing 1 month of data with Splunk, you can actually see blog posts where people say that I run a query, I go brew a coffee, drink it, come back, and the query is still run. So, actually, I'm not saying it. I have not used it personally, but those are the blog entries I've seen.
Not even just like that much. I've seen like it run for around 5 hours or like that.
And imagine if you after the result came in, now you think, oh, I forgot to add this parameter.
Right.
It's gone, right? There's no point. Your life is, I mean, it's a painful life. That's where people started replacing the likes of Splunk with Elasticstack. We have customers, I'm talking to customers storing 2 or 3 years of data in Elasticsearch and they want to perform real-time queries. It's possible. That's a key differentiator. In fact, to also support the same point, they acquired a company called SignalFX, which is an APM plus monitoring solution, which is built on top of Elasticsearch. So yeah, not getting into more into it, but that's the reality. If you look at their investor calls, most of the time they only talk about us as a key competitor, because they're worried about it. Yeah, endpoint security. I'll quickly cover it from malware prevention to ransomware prevention. It's again machine learning. It has pretty good, powerful AI built into it, and it's built for today's environment where you have endpoints in cloud, laptops, devices, desktops, even for servers. It's becoming important these days because it's getting pretty common, uh, especially on cloud or where you have public-facing servers. Those getting hacked. New vulnerabilities keep on coming every day. It's impossible to keep track of those things. Uh, I'll one thing I'll cover how the security analytics works, how each component in the stack works. From data integrations, we have the Beats framework for collecting different types of data sets from the entire packets to the new endpoint where you can do it from your desktop servers. It collects the endpoint data, malware collection, all the events getting generated from the endpoint. To Logstash as well. Logstash is an SNMP trap, so if you want to collect data from devices, network devices, even that is possible. Huge amount of integrations. We have coming up out of the box integrations. That was a challenge as well some time back. Now we are fixing that as well. We are working with a lot of device vendors to provide out of the box integration, and to make it even easier, we have come up with Elastic Common Schema, which is say you can say a data model or a data structure for your machine data, not just security, but even your operational data as well. And again, it's open source, so we're seeing a good adoption in community. Wireshark is coming up with an export feature to Elastic Common Schema. Cisco, Palo Alto networks are actually working on generating logs in the same format, so they are adopting. It helps that they embed in Elasticsearch in other products as well, so it's working. And then in Kibana, it's the same app that we have launched, again, getting more and more powerful. And then we have a huge community which keeps on building and providing a lot of data. So the complete, except endpoint, everything is actually free to use. It's available in the community. If you need alerting or machine learning, then you have to pay, but you're free to use. If you want to just analyze what's happening in your network, what's happening on your server, install Beats, start analyzing. And you get a lot of other community tools as well, out of the box, scene rules, out of the box, parsers, those kind of things are available. So you can take use of them and actually analyze what's happening in your entire ecosystem. So yeah, that's on the scene. Some curated integrations. These are very basic, from audit data, file integrity monitoring, auditing of your Linux or Windows servers, even at the kernel level, syslogs, sysmon, all things can be extracted from devices. For network, complete network flows, DNS flows, any other protocol, you can actually do port mirroring as well. So complete capturing of network packets. Then we have integrations with a lot of other modules, IDS, IPS modules, NetFlow, Ceph as well. So we have a nice integration with Ceph. So ArcSight has created the Ceph framework. We have a good integration with that as well. Then any kind of firewalls, they're coming. We have actually launched firewalls for GCP as well, GCP and other public cloud providers as well. So even that is there for you to integrate.
So like FileBit collects from Ceph, or like Ceph like pushes to your
FileBit collects from Ceph.
Okay, but like Ceph, I can directly push you
Yes.
against this cloud.
Yes. In fact, ArcSight itself launched an official connector for Elasticsearch.
Okay.
Because that request started coming in that we want to analyze more amount of data. So they launched an official connector. I think 2 years back they launched a connector. They are kind of a partner now.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll actually skip all those things. I'll see I can, if the internet works, I'll quickly show a demo as well.
Will you take a slide for?
Yeah, I'll share the slides with you. Yeah, this is the same app. Basically, it gives you a lot of overviews of what's happening, what all hosts you're monitoring, which users are authenticating, and what is their behavior, how many successes, failures, what are the uncommon processes as well. I mean, you might also start complaining that one of the servers is the application is not actually using up a lot of utilization, but some other process is actually uh, taking up a lot of utilizations, and your app is going slow. So not just for security, even you can monitor these kind of stuff. It's not necessary. It's for security.
Can
But
we make our tabs?
sorry.
Can we make our own tabs and write queries?
I don't know. Queries are here. So I was saying, right? I'll just use the same example. If you see, its autocomplete is coming in. Host dot name equals or what all things you want, and it gives me the list of hosts that data is there. So it's like all real time. Can do it. It's a very small setup that I've run on one of my Linux VMs, but yeah, you can do it for others as well. Now, if you want to do an analysis,
So the real-time part, we need to mention all those hosts by ourselves, or it will fetch
it will automatically fetch
automatically from the.
all the data that is present. What are the list? What are the different unique values for host.name? So this is how someone analyzes. This is the, oh, sorry, it's a command. So this user, what is the actual behavior of this particular user? It creates a timeline, and then this user logged in at what time, logged off at what time. It's basically an audit report as well, and then you can analyze what all commands were executed by this user. It has a small workflow as well. You can add notes and save this timeline so that another analyst can also view. Similarly, this was for host. Similarly, you can do it for networks as well, where you're getting all the traffic from. You also have support for pew charts as well. So if you want to chart from where the network is coming and what are the source IPs, destination IPs, all those things. I mean, those are basic things that you need. I won't get into more advanced stuff. Plus, more importantly, you have machine learning uh, integrated with SIEM. So these are some out-of-the-box modules, machine learning jobs that we provide, network activity, kind of DDoS kind of attacks, port activity, network service, quite a few. I think 20, 30 jobs we are providing out of the box.
Okay, so like, are these only for events which are coming through like your integration, like or like any data I can store and
Any data, if you use it in Elastic Common Schema.
Also in that other tab, was that data correlated for all basically all which I have? Okay, so like if I put it in the Elastic Common Schema, I will see events related to all that in that one particular event.
Correct. So if, for example, if you are collecting audit day information, so audit day will collect for this host name, this username did this. Similarly, an antivirus will also have that username. So all the events related to that username, irrespective of the source, you can actually correlate. So the timeline view that I showed will show list on all the events for that particular user.name, irrespective of the source of the data. So that's the correlation that you're looking at. Yeah, I mean, that's a small demo, but apart from SIEM, you have a lot of out-of-the-box dashboards available. Kind of messed up, but yeah. So this is audit B running on your servers.
So these dashboards are taking data out or
These are out-of-the-box, but there's no limit of how many dashboards you want to create in Kibana. So you can This visualization, if you want to create a new dashboard, pick one visualization from here, pick another visualization from there. We can do that as well. If you want only your own custom visualizations, you can create custom visualizations as well, mix and match. Plus, we support Vega.js, which is a third-party JavaScript as well. But this is very powerful now. You don't even need Vega.js unless you are looking at very scattered plots and those kind of things. I mean, really advanced level charts. You can. Plus, we have something called as Canvas. If you're not explored Canvas, it's pretty powerful as well. So have a look. It's like presentation like dashboards in Kubernetes.
So how easy is to like, integrate that particular server to this, like using FileBeat, like it's a pretty good process.
If you're using FileBeat, any of the FileBeat modules, you get these kind of visualizations out of the box. So don't you have to create charts or visualization?
Can you just give me a like short steps, like using FileBeat, how long it
FileBeat, download FileBeat. So for example, what are you looking at? What kind of things you want to?
let's say I have to instance in
Yeah. So if it is a Linux server that you want to do, we have something called as metric beat. It has a system module. So you just install metric beat, enable system module on your GCP instance. You just have to configure the URL of Elasticsearch as well, where you want to push data. Once you configure that, data starts flowing into Elasticsearch. Kibana is connected to the same Elasticsearch cluster. Automatically, the dashboards will start getting populated.
So that is a super, how do you have to install that FileBeat?
It's a normal app binary that you have to. Don't have to do. It doesn't need sudo permission. You can run it as a service. That would need sudo kind of an access. But if you want to just try it out, you can run it on your any of your server. Try it on your laptop as well. You get pretty nice visualizations.
What are the hardware recommendations?
Pretty for agents, agents run on your actual.
I mean, setup Elasticsearch.
It can start very small as well. You can start with.
What are the factors to be considered and how do we conclude that 32 GB RAM required?
Depends on how much data you're pushing in. If you're looking at, say, if you're starting off, you can start off with a small one node cluster with 8 GB RAM as well. When you start increasing, keep on adding more nodes and keep expanding the data as well.
Is there any utility to observe the, like, monitor the performance, like, okay, from this much ingestion?
Yeah, so it has monitoring as well. So that's what I was saying. So you see there is something called a stack monitoring. So where you can actually monitor how your Elasticsearch is performing. I think I've not enabled it. I'll just check. It will take few minutes to enable it, but you can actually see what is the ingest rate, what is the search query rate, how each node is performing, Elasticsearch node is performing, what is the utilization, even the shard level details that he was talking about. He was using commands to do it. You can actually see it here as well.
And these are the licensed bits.
Beats are not licensed. A licensing model is basically if you want to use premium features or you want a support, only then you need to buy a subscription. Otherwise, you are free to use.
Like suppose if you want to like design a new cluster, what should we go for? Like initially we should take 3 servers, 2 servers, 1 server.
For production, we recommend minimum 3 node cluster, minimum 3 nodes of Elasticsearch.
And what is the RAM and
Depends on how much data you want to store. The max RAM that we recommend is 64 GB RAM per node. Min is people run it on 1 or 2 GB RAM as well. Depends on how much data you're storing, what kind of ingest rates you're looking at.
And what is the recommended? Physical or virtual machines?
Anything is fine. Our own cloud offering runs on Docker containers. Physical is fine, but VMs are fine, containers are fine. We have even customers embedding in their hardware as well. So never a challenge.
Since Oracle and the issues with the Java licensing is going on, Elasticsearch is completely built on that. So, like, is it any differences there? Like, I put it on OpenJDK or
we have a full support metrics. We support different JVMs.
okay.
If you want to use Oracle, it's fine. Open is fine. There are some custom JVMs available as well. Even those are fine. So we have a proper support metrics.
Is there a page to check like where we get support metrics?
So not much migration is involved from, like, for example, we used to run for Java 8. So is there any major differences, like, changes from Java 8 to Java 11 was quite
Some GC collection methods, I mean,
change?
even there we support multiple, but yeah, some people wanted very heavy tuning. So, for example, there are customers storing petabytes of data. They want to fine tune a lot of things. So, JVM. Oracle OpenJDK, adopt OpenJDK. So, which version supports what? So we are complete support metrics. Yeah, any more questions? Not just what I presented, but anything on Elasticsearch. Yeah.
So can we custom implement the search as you type in Elastic? It's a bit difficult to find. Yeah. Search as you type by other than setting activity.
Other?
Again and again setting the search query with let's say suggestion.
So we have an auto suggest API available as well.
Suggestions. So for that we have to again and again.
I mean, there are multiple ways to optimize it. What you're trying to achieve. I mean, it depends on that.
Basically, search as whenever there is a knowledge base and I have to use querying, and then I have to suggest him all the related questions. And that is the most relevant whatever is like.
Yeah, so that is possible. We have APIs available for that.
So using suggestions, right?
Yes. Yes. So even if you go to Wikipedia, if you start typing anything, it suggests you, right? So that's part of Elasticsearch APIs.
It's app search.
App search you're talking about.
Yeah, so app search is there, but then we can do it
On Elasticsearch as well. So standalone Elasticsearch, not using the app search additional solution that we have built. On Elasticsearch as well. Wikipedia, if you use Wikipedia, I mean that depends on how much data you have. There are multiple ways to do it. There's no standard. They've had so many different use cases. People use it for different ways to optimize it. I would say start with exact what you're looking at, more details, put it on discuss.elastic.com. If obviously there is support, if you're not on subscription license and you need help, go to discuss.elastic.com. Put in a detailed query. We've even launched a new Slack channel as well. You might have got that. But yeah, Slack channel is pretty new, so our engineers are not there. But if you go to discuss.elastic.co, we have actual engineers who keep on helping people. So if you type, say, start typing. So this is all actually powered by Elasticsearch.
One question. I mean, the last security stack. I mean, that involvement. What I feel is like, make a very useful use case for money laundering solutions.
Yeah.
So any bank or software solutions which is developed based on Elasticsearch on a money laundering?
Quite a few in Europe. I'm not sure which are actually publicly referenceable, but as far as I know, Barclays is referenceable. So Barclays Bank, in fact, uses Elastic Stack for 32 different use cases.
Okay.
So anti-money laundering is one of them.
Yeah, because I don't know such products as those things. The prevention detection is that area which requires money laundering quite a bit.
So there's a fintech company in Europe called Contexa, which has built a complete fraud detection and money laundering solution, anti-money laundering solution on top of Elasticsearch. they are our partners as well.
And one more use case that I wanted to tell you specific to the money laundering. Is there any way I could create those specific features where it's, which modifies, because based on the detection prevention it happens. Because money laundering is such an area that fraud happens one shot, and it goes into that, and that the data is stuck with the agent whether it has to approve, not to approve. And if the staff is sitting there to approve such transactions to global, is there any we could use machine learning specific model where based on the historical data it can take that decision on the behalf?
I think Contexa actually offers this kind of a solution, because it's not that we provide a ready solution or a machine learning job for you. It also depends on a lot of parameters as well, and what is your risk profile as well. Yes. So a bank may actually approve certain kind of transactions, another bank may reject it because they don't have that kind of an exposure or a risk profile to accept those kind of risks. So that needs a lot of tuning, and there are specialized companies. Contexa is one of them, and larger banks actually build their own models. They don't rely on ready models because that out of the box things don't work for them.
I work with a knockoff for that matter. It's a European company.
Sorry?
Knockoff.
Okay.
They got acquired by another European company, but they had a similar functionality offered on a based on RDBMS product. Oracle was
okay.
Yeah. But Oracle is also not a mammoth where you have to have it takes I've worked on a production, so I know that sometimes it's fake.
And in India as well, in globally, we are on especially with banks. Banks are one of the biggest customers. I think 20 to 30% of the paying customers are banks for us. And transaction monitoring and management is one of the top use cases.
Yes.
In fact, one of the large private banks in India, their CRM system is actually querying Elasticsearch for customer profile and transactions. And now they are planning to expose the same Elasticsearch cluster directly to their internet and mobile banking, so that if you want to download your statement, the biggest challenge any bank, if you want 3-month or 6-month old statement, you can't do it online. It asks you to, it will send maybe few hours, or for some banks a day or two later, because their Oracle systems are not built for this kind of query.
We have used, I'm talking about 2006, 2007, 17 retail banking. We have to do the partitioning of data on a table where we could optimize on performance. Because the 3 months of archive data for every customer it varies from 100 to 200.
The private bank that I'm talking about is planning to store 2 years of data in Elasticsearch, just 5 nodes of Elasticsearch.
Okay.
Rabobank in Netherlands, they store 10 years of data, 10 years of transaction data, retail as well as the corporate customers. All statements are online. 10-year statements are online. They directly expose the APIs to internet mobile banking.
Is it that the batch update tools to do that archive data? How it's a real time?
Real time. Even one of the largest private banks, all credit card, debit card transactions go through Elasticsearch. They have Oracle, this core system of record, but as soon as data gets written in Oracle, there's Golden Gate and Kafka, which streams data into Elasticsearch in real time. They do real-time offer management on top of that data, because you can't actually analyze real-time data on top of those core banking systems built on Oracle. It will actually slow down the transactions. So they pushed all that data to Elasticsearch, and they do.
Even we also did in that matter, writing that into the database and then pushing that to Elasticsearch. Because querying the database with the tons of data that it becomes very difficult. It's a nightmare.
Yeah.
Elasticsearch is on that use cases for us.
You're from which bank?
No, I used to work with the bank.
Okay.
Not in India, but then we have used this use cases where Elasticsearch was specific to the customer data coming down from the function from customer card data, his account statements, his profile, and the services, other channels that he's using the bank, because the HNI individual, we cannot even expose those data to the people. So those front ends are written, MySQL is written aggregate and then push that.
We have role-based access. You can give field level access control as well. If you're okay
Yes,
with
that's why we
subscription.
have chosen that part.
Yeah. If you need if you are okay with subscription, you have full field level role-based access. Not just at the front end, even at API level, you can provide. Yeah. Banking is I'm actually journeying between quite a few banks in India, so a lot of use cases.
It's all very issues.
Sorry?
Elasticsearch, when I discovered that
Yeah.
from version 1, to be very honest.
Okay. Yeah, we are in fact, I'm in a process of migrating someone from 1.5 to 7.5. It's a pain as well. Professional services guys are coming to do that, but you'll find. Book my show. I was talking to your team, Pranav. He said that he started using it from 0.8, 0.8 to 0.9. So he said, I got an email from Shai Venom, who's the CEO as well. When he raised an issue directly, our CEO used to reply to those issues. So yeah, adoption is huge. We stopped counting the number of downloads since 6 months now. 6 months back, it was 500 million downloads of our product. So I don't know what would be the current number. At least 700 million or something. We're very, very popular. The whole stack is very popular. Yeah. Any questions? Anyways, I'll stick around for some time. If you have, you can come and ask one-on-one as well. And thank you, Pepipost, for hosting us. Hope to see you most of you in the next meetup as well.
So guys, we have lunch in pantry. You can the pantry straight from this right side and have a lunch there.
Stickers and some mobile pop-up holders are